Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brett Lee podcast. Thank you for listening in. It's the Ashes, and we're here for the Aussie summer. It's been a big one so far. Aussies 1 from 1 at the Gabba. We've now moved down to beautiful Adelaide, and the second test, the pink ball test, starts tomorrow afternoon our time. Looking forward to that. If you want to get involved to the podcast, of course, make sure you go on the email, which is the Brett Lee podcast at news.com.au, or through our WhatsApp group, and the link to that is in the episode notes. The banter is strong, and I'm looking forward to seeing all these messages come through today. So, I'm here with former New South Wales all-rounder Brad McNamara, Buzzard, who's also the executive producer at Fox Sports. Tell you what, Buzz, guest time in segment 2. We have a big one today. Do you know who it is? You do know who it is.
Yeah, I do. You going to tell people? You want me
Pat Cummins. We've got the Aussie skipper, the 47th captain of Australia, so looking forward to that. But the way we always kick it off, last week up at the Gabba, the Aussies, they nailed it. And it all started from this first ball. Mitchell Starc, first ball of the test, first ball of the Ashes, first ball of the series, he rips his pegs out.
It certainly woke everyone up, didn't it? if you weren't ready for the first ball of the Ashes, yeah, Rory Burns just gave him a look at that leg stump, and it just snuck around the back of his heel and swung in. Amazing start. And to be honest, England never really recovered, did they, from that? Australia won convincingly by 9 wickets, as you said, and there was a time there, afternoon day 2, where Joe Root and David Malan fought back, and England, were only 2 down, 60 behind at the end of play, and they were still in the game. But then a massive batting collapse, morning day 3, 8 for 40 odd, and it was Australia cruised home.
Well, you think other than those probably couple of sessions that England won, it was pretty much Australia dominating. And, I thought all the bowlers did a great job. Even Cam Green got his first wicket. There was a lot of firsts there were. There was the first catch from behind the pegs. Yeah. Alex Carey getting his opportunity to make his debut. I thought it was a wonderful job from Pat Cummins, the skipper. I thought he did a fantastic job. And then obviously, as I mentioned, Cam Green getting his first wicket. Yeah,
amazing from Pat Cummins, his first test, to have all that stuff going on. And he did a great job.
And he picked up Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and he did. Yeah, just thank you very much. just to go with the bird and the captaincy. So it didn't seem to affect his bowling at all. I mean, him and Josh Hazlewood were just relentless as always. As I said, just no peace at all for the batsmen. We show the heat maps that we've got on and pitch maps on Fox Cricket. They barely bowl a bad ball.
They're like a marksman.
I think Pat last bowled a bad ball in about 3 years ago, I think.
Probably about 2009, I reckon.
They just give the batsmen nothing. They squeeze them, Root and Malan did bat very well. They just needed a good morning 3, and if they'd have got 150 ahead, could have been an interesting run chase, because that wicket was doing quite a bit with the new ball. But the big batting collapse, which has plagued England's Test cricket for the last few years, reared its ugly head again. And look, I think the biggest talking point from that test was why the hell didn't Broad or Anderson play in conditions that were absolutely perfect for them?
What is going on? I know that we said it in our last podcast, but the fact that you got 1,100 Test wickets between them. You're thinking about guys that love to bowl on that type of wicket. That would suit their bowling style. And I don't know whether they thought, this first game might get washed out. Do we sort of just hold the boys back a little bit? And, it may not have been their call. It could have been the hierarchy above them that actually thought, let's save them and keep their powder dry until they get down here to Adelaide. The wrong call, though.
Well, let me ask you, as a fast bowler who took over 300 Test wickets, if you walked out onto that Gabba surface,
give me the rock.
Morning day 1, and someone come up and tapped you on the shoulder and said, mate, just have a rest from this one, will you? We'll give you a run in Adelaide. What would you have thought?
I would have said, I want to play in Adelaide as well, but I'm bloody bowling first ball here for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the conditions were made for them, and who knows what would have happened. I mean, Travis Head scored a fantastic 150.
100 in a session too, Buzz.
100 in a session, 185 balls. When he came in, Australia was struggling a little bit. England had pulled it back after Dave Warner and Marnus Labuschagne's really good partnership. We lost a few quick wickets, and that game, once again, that was a turning point there where the game could have gone either way, and Travis Head's innings pretty much took it away from England. So the big moments in that test match, Australia won them all. As we look forward to the second test, if England are going to get back in the series, they need to start winning a few of these big moments.
Yeah, they need to dominate. As we mentioned, we'll stick around because we've got Pat Cummins coming up, and I want to be very honest with Paddy. I thought throughout the last couple of weeks, he could definitely do a good job as captain, but I was thinking, don't put any pressure on the guy who's number one in the world. Let him focus on his bowling. But after what I saw in Brisbane, he has got the makings of a fantastic captain.
He seemed to do it easy, and you could tell amongst the team they seemed happy and jovial, just watching their warm-ups and how they were going about it on the field. Everyone looked like they were enjoying themselves. I think the best thing Pat did, one of the best things he did with his captaincy up there, was losing the toss. It was a pretty good toss to lose in the end, because it'd be interesting. Big decision to bat first in those conditions, and probably a gutsy decision to bat first. And I wonder if had he had to do that and bat first and Australia did get rolled, whether that might have played on his mind, thinking, my first test, my first big job as captain is to make the right call to whether to bat or bowl. But that was sort of taken away from him, so he could relax a bit. Losing the toss and bowling on that wicket, not the worst thing that could have happened.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing, Buzz, because I reckon that being a bowling all-rounder as Pat Cummins is, if he would have gone in as you said, and got resolved for 120, 150, at least you get the bowling out of the way. That's what comes more natural to Paddy. The wonderful start by Mitchell Stark. So got the boys off to good one. But I tell you who else got a milestone? Nathan Lyon.
Is that it? Is that the moment? It is! Nathan Lyon! His 400th Test match wicket. It's been a long time coming. He's had to be patient. He's toiled, he's worked hard, and let the celebrations begin.
Can you believe it? Caught it silly mid-off. You beauty. Well done, Nathan Lyon. That's a big blow. A big wicket for Australia and Nathan Lyon.
Yeah, the boys there from Fox Sports, Gilly having a great call once again. Almost a year between wickets, because obviously with the amount of cricket, or the least amount of cricket, I guess the guys have played. But Nathan Lyon was on that 399 for a long time, Buzz.
Yeah, you could see the frustration building, and especially as England were getting back into the game, and that was a big wicket, his 400th, because it broke that partnership, Milan and Root. You guys in commentary were talking a lot about Nathan Lyon's tactics, and I thought it was interesting to watch Pat Cummins, how he went. I thought he handled the bowlers really well in that test match. But one thing we all can't quite get our head around is sometimes Nathan seems to get a bit defensive with his field and doesn't seemingly like to bowl with a man in at silly point.
Yeah.
Which is where Milan eventually got caught. I know you guys in commentary were calling for that.
We just kept saying, get a guy in.
Well, especially Warney and Mark Waugh, they just couldn't believe there was no one in there because he was lunging at the ball. And he actually did get his 400 the day before.
Given not out.
But it wasn't given out.
No one appealed.
No, there wasn't even an appeal, and it was right off the middle of the glove. But as you get the feeling now the floodgates will open again for the GOAT. And as Kerry O'Keefe said, they don't call him the GOAT because he's horny. He is the greatest off spinner,
greatest of all time.
So I thought he bowled pretty well after that, and you could see the pressure, almost see the monkey come off the back. And I think he's going to have a really good series now. He actually bowls really well in these pink ball tests. He likes the Adelaide Oval with the grass on it, so get a bit of bounce and zip with that pink ball. So I think he's going to have a great series. At 400 Test wickets, what an amazing milestone.
Just over 101 tests. I mean, that is incredible.
Would have taken him 400 years if he went
kept
at the rate the last one went.
one per year. He'd be an old man. Still have no lid though, would he?
It'd be interesting to see how quick he gets to 500 now.
Well, I think that, as I said, I think the floodgates will open. The pressure's off now. His rhythm's back. He's confident again. He's the best bowler we've got.
Well, if he plays another 2 or 3 years, he could be pushing 700.
Well, that's what Ashwin did. Ashwin went from 400 to up there to 473, I think it was, very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what do they average? Sort of, 10, 15, He'll be right up there amongst our greatest wicket takers of all time, probably just behind McGrath and Warne, maybe even past them.
He'll definitely be up there. I want to give you a listen to the moment that Australia sealed the first test up at the Gabba.
Just a boundary away then. Australia from a convincing win. Well, his first ball disappears out to the boundary for 4, and Australia take the opening test in the Ashes in emphatic style. They've dominated the majority of this test match, and they go 1-0 up.
Isha Gura in commentary there. It was almost through gritted teeth, wasn't it? The English Rose.
She never smiled, did she? She's a lovely person, Isha.
She hated to call that. Most Englishmen would have hated to hear that, but it was an emphatic win. 9 wickets. I guess we should, now we're in Adelaide. How good is it to be here? How good is it? The Adelaide
Love
Test
Adelaide.
match is fantastic. The day-night test,
Barossa.
the great atmosphere. Been out in the middle to have a look at the wicket. Looks very dry, but there is a good covering of grass on it.
Okay.
Pretty much like it has been the last few years here. So, and they try and leave a bit more grass on this pitch, don't they, than normal to protect the pink ball. I think it's 8 mils of grass or something.
You flew on yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, and there's a little bit of grass on it, but it's dry. You know, I think at times the ball will dominate, as we've seen in pink test, but surely Broad and Anderson play, and we get the strongest England team possible. I think I'd be very surprised if they make the same mistake they made at the Gabba.
No, they won't. Look, I think that the way that Broad and Anderson will bowl here in the twilight, it'll swing around corners. But yeah, you arrived yesterday. I arrived this morning. I've done 4 COVID tests in 2 days. Absolute nightmare, lining up for 2 hours. I had a rush here, so I wasn't late for Paddy.
I'll tell you what, the COVID tester at the airport wasn't the most gentle of COVID.
Strap the
I nearly lost an eyeball. Jeez.
Mate, be good to get up that beak.
Hey. Well, they did use a toilet brush to get it up my nose.
Mate, we tried the airport first. It was like a 2-hour wait. Junior was in the other car. He was driving around, giving me the heads up as to where to go, where not to go. So he's blowing up because we couldn't get tested.
He's got no patience at all, Junior, has he?
Nah, well,
zero. I can't imagine him waiting in the line for 2 hours.
I understand why they're doing it, but when you're triple vaxxed as I am, and I've done 3 COVID tests a day ago, and then 1 again this morning. Well, 2 this morning, 1 before I left again, and then 1 when I arrived. But we're here in Adelaide. But we're
here, we're safe, we're healthy, and how good is it? The test match is on.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I tell you what else is on too, Buzzard. Did the Scorchers BBL win last night, and Mitchell Marsh, the Bison, peels off 100. Get this, 14 days after gets back from the World Cup. He played a phenomenal knock in the World Cup final. Gets back, gets out of isolation, and then goes and peels 100 last night.
How good is he to watch? Gee, is there anyone that hits the ball harder in world cricket than Mitchell Marsh?
I don't reckon there is.
Gives it a whack. Gee, and he's had a fantastic few months. The great World Cup. Must have been reasonably close to being picked he would have been in the reckoning for test selection, I think, given the form he was in.
I hope he does, Buzz, because he can offer a lot with both bat and ball. He's good in the field, got great hands in the slips.
Yeah, I don't think his test days are over by any stretch. He had a great Ashes series last time England were out here. Which is only 3 or 4 years away. But good to see him dominating the Big Bash, and didn't he give it a whack? Well,
for those who missed it last night, it was the Hobart Hurricanes taking on the Perth Scorchers. Mitchell Marsh picked up a massive 100.
Marsh on 99. He gets it away. And that is 100 up for Mitch Marsh. What a stunning couple of months he's had. World Cup star.
Geez, Isha sounded a little bit happier there than when she called the winning runs for Australia at the Test match.
We told her that too. We said, geez, you've perked up tonight, haven't you, Ish?
Good to see.
I think she thinks that playing in the rosé test, as I call it, the pink ball test.
Well, let's hope the Poms put in a better performance.
Come on.
Get a smile on her face.
I reckon Anderson might get a big bag here, Pfeiffer. I reckon, Ando.
Well, he did last time. He swung it. Remember that spell he bowled in 2017? Oh. He was swinging it miles.
Yeah.
No one could lay a bat on him.
No one could even get close. But with a couple of those big balls going into the crowd last night, there was an unfortunate incident, and I'll give you a listen to it, and I'll tell you what happened in the end.
Give me ball.
Oh, he's dropped him, hit him in the straight the beak, I think.
Okay.
I don't think it hit him in the lid, did it?
He's got his mask on. It's oriented him straight the beak.
Oh, I think it did too.
Yeah, straight through.
He's got blood there, unfortunately, the young fella.
Oh, he's had a massive crack. It's gone straight through his hand and picked him off straight in the nose. This poor fella last night, this kid, and he's probably in his early teens or late teens. He's gone to catch. He had his mask on, so he's very COVID safe, so well done to him. But it's gone straight through. I thought I got him on the nose, but just above his nose, hit him between the eyes and split him like an orange. There was claret everywhere. He looked like a stunned mullet. Could be so careful in the crowd.
I'm surprised more people don't get hurt, especially when they're going for a catch and there's people pushing each other out the way. And it's still going pretty quick, that cricket ball, by the time it gets to the crowd. It's got a bit of velocity on it, so they can do some damage. The place where I'm surprised people don't get hurt more are in the smaller grounds in England, where a lot of people are having their lunch and just pleasantly minding their own business, and all of a sudden
get picked off by a cricket ball.
But especially in T20 matches, it's surprising there's not a few more injuries. So you got to keep your eyes on your fries, don't you? Watch the ball.
You mentioned England. It just took me back to Andrew Simons when he was over there playing county cricket, and this girl was down watching. It wasn't a huge crowd. The rumour has it he smacked the six, picked her off. She had to go to hospital to get it checked out. Came back again a few hours later. He was still batting. Sat in a different part of the ground and picked her off again.
That is unlike. Actually, the best one I ever saw. We're in your hometown, Wollongong, and we're doing it was a promotion for one of our sponsors. A fella called they had an indoor net set up that had a roof on it in the shopping mall in Wollongong, and Big Jack Small, who used to smack, used a railway sleeper pretty much as a bat,
3 pounds,
was facing a bowling machine, those hard yellow balls. Anyway, he's whacked one. It's gone through the roof of the net. And there's a bloke walking up the mall carrying 2 shopping bags. It one-hopped him and hit him straight in the nuts.
In the plums.
Imagine just walking up the mall, minding your own business, and all of a sudden you get taken out by a cricket ball. It dropped him like he'd been shot. It was
he
up
wouldn't
the
know
ball
what
bucket.
happened.
No, he didn't. He probably thought there was a sniper in the mall somewhere, but poor fella went down.
He got his lettuce in one bag, his eggs in the other. He gets picked off.
Minding his own business, just done his Christmas shopping, and down he went.
I remember there's a time we were over in the West Indies playing. I think it might have been a one-day match, and Hoggy was over there. Brad Hogg, little Hoggy, he'll be listening in. Hello, Hoggy. Andrew Simons, and we're all bowling in the nets. And Andrew Simons was batting, and Hoggy had bowled a ball, and they had these like Rio bars, these real big thick bars around the outside. They're really dangerous because every time the batsman would smack one to the side net, it'd hit that and ricochet off take off like a gunshot. Hoggy's bowl one, Simo's hit him, it would have gone for 6. It's hit the top part of this bar, ricocheted 45 degree and will hit Hoggy straight in the lip. Split his lip open. Had to go and get stitched up, I think. And he wasn't allowed to smile. So Andrew Simons
killed him.
Andrew Simons on the bus leading the ground telling all these funny jokes, and Hoggy's holding his lip so he wouldn't smile, and he's telling all these funny jokes. He's going, "Oh, don't goodbye. I can't stop laughing," and he's just laughing his head off, and you could see his little lip starting to bleed again.
Is it true Hoggy one day on the team bus? I don't know if you were there or not. They were in Brisbane. They were driving past Eagle Farm racecourse, and Hoggy said, "Is that where the Melbourne Cup's held?"
Yeah, I think that was coming from Randwick actually. Driving past Randwick. Is this where they run the Melbourne Cup? Yeah. I said, "No, that'd be down in Melbourne."
And they reckon fast bowlers are screw loose.
Oh, mate, it's yeah. I mean, I always say when people say that, because I don't cop that buzz.
No, I know. Well,
fast bowlers are very intelligent people, right? Now, I want to ask you the question: if you can bowl a missile at 160 k's, bowl the ball at a helpless little batsman down there standing in front of 3 pegs with a helmet on, who's the smart guy? The guy facing the missile, or the guy bowling the missile?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was the stupid one quite a few times, facing your missile on the nets.
Patrick James Cummins, the 47th captain for Australia, and only, get this, the second captain as a fast bowler after the great Ray Linwell. Born on the 8th of May 1993, 35 test matches so far and counting, 171 wickets. And I reckon, before I introduce Pat Cummins, I want to say congratulations on his biggest appointment of his life, and that came on the 8th of October this year. Congratulations, Cummo, to you and Becky on the birth of your little man, Albie Boston Cummins. What a great name. Firstly, what's it mean to be a father?
Thanks for the intro. It's been awesome so far. I mean, we're barely getting a smile out of him, but it's awesome when he just holding him. And I think straight back to my childhood and all the amazing memories and times I had as a child. So that's what I'm excited to hopefully do with little Albie. But at the moment, he's drinking plenty of milk, getting chubby, plenty of smiles. He's flying.
How's your wrapping technique, mate? I was an awful baby rapper. I just couldn't get it right. How's yours?
That was my one job.
Was it?
I nailed that.
Did you?
Nailed it, and then I went away. Becky was struggling with it, so we got the zip-up swaddles now. So he's all good.
It's amazing how it happens so quickly, where you go from playing cricket and then you're a dad and you're changing nappies and you're trying to learn how to wrap a baby. So it's good times. But, mate, yeah, congratulations on that. And also, congratulations on the captaincy, mate, the 47th. I mean, how did that make you feel when – look, I have to be honest, when a lot of people are saying Pat Cummins, captain of Australia, I'm thinking, of course he can do it. He's got the brains to do it. He's got the guys behind him. But don't put any added pressure on him. After what I've seen up in Brisbane, you can definitely cope with it.
Oh, thanks, mate. I think similar to Albie in childhood, as soon as I got announced as captain, I started thinking of Steve Waugh was captain when I was growing up, and punter, and in recent years played under Clark and Paine and Smith. So there's a lot of legends of the games of Australian cricket there. So first of all, I think I was honoured and pretty taken aback to be part of that list. And then, start thinking about the actual job. How can I do it? And again, comes a few unknowns. I love just going out there and bowling, and that's probably the main thing I wanted to protect, was to make sure I could just concentrate on my bowling, and it was not going to hurt that in any way. And pleasantly surprised after Gabba how I felt. I felt like I could just concentrate on I have the same mindset as what I've had, every other time I bowl in a test match. So that was really pleasing. And then outside of that, just a bit more involved, but felt like I could manage it.
Pat, was there anything about, until you do it, you're never really going to know. Was there anything about being Australia's 47th Test captain that caught you by surprise?
I'd been pretty close to Tim Paine kind of in recent years, so got a fairly decent grasp of the width of the job. There's so much demand, probably more on your time outside of games. So that's not necessarily surprised, but it's a huge leap up from just being a player in the side. And then I think on game day, I felt like I could mainly concentrate on the cricket side of things, but there's still lots of different decisions you make around when's warm up. Are we warming up at the nets or on the ground? Or a million of those little, okay, who's short leg today? Who's going in third slip? Or just a million little decisions which I'd never really thought of any of them.
Probably all the stuff they didn't have to even care about, just turning up and bowling gas.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good. There's lots of great support around us. The support staff are brilliant. So a lot of those decisions I can just handball off and know they're going to be looked after pretty well.
Tell me you're getting a bigger room, hopefully, as a skipper.
There's no suite at this hotel. I do have the accessible though. So I've got a fold down seat in my shower, which I'm actually eyeing off for day 3 and 4 when you wake up a little bit sore in the morning.
Pat, I first met you, it was in Adelaide. Yeah, Binga brought you and Josh Hazelwood to dinner. I think we had the teppanyaki in the Japanese restaurant here. Mate, talking to you now and talking to you then, you're exactly the same person. But it seems like barely anything has changed. How have you kept such a level persona through all the things you've been through? Firstly, we all know that you suffered a long period of injury to come back from that, and then you haven't missed a test match since in 2017. But essentially, you're the same guy in 2015 as you are now.
Yeah, I don't know really. I try to, being a cricketer is not who I am. It's what I do occasionally. But I think all those things that I loved back then before I was in the test side, I still love now. So it's when I'm home, going for a beer at the pub, seeing mates, family, spending some time out in the country. I know Binga loves that too. So I try to take the pressure off myself of trying to live up to 365 days a year cricketer that needs to be performing at his absolute best every single day. I'm a person outside of that. Try to remember that, and I think as well, being within the team, we've got people like Joshy Hazelwood, Stark, Lyon, Dave Smithy, Davey. I've been playing with these guys for 10 years. So, it doesn't feel like I'm going to a different team. I'm hanging around my mates just like I would when I'm back home. So, don't know. Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, certainly a great attitude to have. I remember, Buzzard, I reckon I first saw you, Paddy. It must have been, I reckon it was 16 or 17, a wiry, tall guy coming down from Penrith, bowling gas in the SCG nets. And I'm just thinking, this guy's got the X factor. I knew straight away. And then, you fast forward to, 17th of November 2011 in Johannesburg, and you go out there and take the world by storm. Firstly, how was it playing in your first test and then having, and I looked at the some stats here, 1,946 days absence until your next test, which is about 5 years and 3 months. How did you go from, getting your best test figures to then having 5 years away from the game?
Yeah, the first, really nervous. First game, playing with some of the greats of Australian cricket. Probably more so, there was a lot of unknowns in that I hadn't played a first-class game for about 9 months. So literally hardly bowled a ball with a red ball for close to a year. And that's what I remember I was really nervous about was, am I going to be able to swing the ball? Even the tempo, can I bowl 20 overs a day? Because I didn't have that feel for a long time. Once I actually step over the rope and got after bowled my first spell, then I felt a real sense of calm and I was relaxed and just the competitive drive took over me and I was just a little kid in the backyard playing against my oldest brothers again. You just want to do whatever you can to win, and I didn't care if it was an old bloke who'd been playing for 20 years and I just wanted to try and get one up on them. So I distinctly remember that taking over quickly, and then long break of injuries and India, getting over there to India for my second test match. I remember thinking most of the cricket I'd played before that, in the back of my mind was, okay, I don't want to get injured here. It's not worth getting injured. I remember walking on the field then and thinking, well, if I'm going to get injured, it might as well be in a test match. And I just thought, let it rip. I'm not saving myself for anything. This is what I've been waiting years to get back to. So, it was in some way even more. The first one came out of nowhere. The second test was really rewarding in what it took to get back there.
Yeah, Pat, as I said, you've barely missed a test since. The only two you have missed since 2017 were more for the rotation and resting. If you had a message to young fast bowlers, many who do suffer stress fractures and injuries, and Binger, I know you did as well, that do have to spend a long time out of the game, what would it be going through that process?
Well, I think one thing's, patience. The reason why Cricket Australia and everyone around me was really patient was because people like Binger and Mitchell Johnson and Dennis Lilly had gone through similar injuries when they were 18 or 19 and proved that by the time they got on the other side of that, 23, 24, you can still carve out a really, really long, successful career. So that gave us a lot of confidence and me a lot of confidence. I think there's a lot of, bowling's a good mix of art versus science. And I think when you're injured, science can take over. And I think in that there's a lot of positivity. There's good data to suggest the best ways to get you back. And you have to listen to the medical team. But I think what's really important is you can't lose the art of bowling. You can't lose the competition, getting to the mindset of a batter, how to get them out, remembering the core reasons of your bowling and what make you a quality bowler. So I think you've got to strike up that balance, and you're going to get unlucky. You could get lucky, you could get unlucky. So, I'd say try and zoom out, look at a 5-year timeline. It's frustrating, but trust me, you can play till you're 35. Jimmy Anderson's playing now at 40. There's enough time. Yeah,
there's heaps of times at fast bowling. I reckon you still haven't even reached your peak yet, which is good signs to come. It's about just after 2 o'clock here, local time in Adelaide, and we are on the eve of the second test, the pink ball test, and once again we thank you for your precious time. Obviously, the news coming the last couple of days with Hazelwood out with an injury, it gives opportunity to Richo to come in, and David Warner's pulled through as well. Is that the news, Paddy?
Yeah, that's right. Davey had a hit yesterday and got through decently. He's got a bit of discomfort, but he's not going to miss a test match. He's a little champion, a little fighter, so he'll be right to go. And yeah, Jai Richardson will play his third test match. He hasn't played one since 2019, started 2019, so really pumped for him. He's just an awesome prospect. He's
hoops the ball out
to WA. What's that?
He hoops the ball away, doesn't he? Especially with that pink nut, he might bloody get it to turn around corners.
Absolutely. I said to him, so this would be his second test with the pink ball. I said, geez, how do we get that? That's not bad for a fast bowler pick and choose.
You're welcome.
So really excited. Josh is tough man to replace, but I reckon we've got a pretty good one in Jai.
I'm going to test you with your memory. I'm 5 or 6 years ago, I told you 3 things that I wanted you to have a crack at in life. Do you remember what they were? I'll put you on the spot here. 3 things I reckon that could enhance your game of cricket.
Well, I'm guessing one's bowl fast.
Yes, tick. Very good.
I reckon another one's got to be get a farm.
Tick. Very good.
What's the third? Probably something to do with red wine or something, is it?
Spot on. How good's that? And I remember, I reckon I was walking into, you guys are playing a test in Canberra, and I'm walking in, I got my head down, I'm about to go into Fox commentary, and I heard, Binger! He's come on, he's going, got the farm. I said, you beauty. So, yeah, the appreciation of some good wine, having a farm. You love as much as I do, getting down and getting on the tractor and digging your dams and just spending time on the farm life. It's a pretty good life. It's a nice balance to get away from sport, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't been down there for a while since because it was out of Greater Sydney, so lockdown, couldn't get down there. But I love it. I love it. I'm always looking at things I can do down there.
Running your Black Angus?
Yeah, running 4-head at the moment.
Now, Pat, you're in severe danger of being kicked out of the Fast Bowlers Union. Firstly, you've got a university degree, which you got when you were injured. But you're also, I've been reading recently, that you're very conscious of the environment and climate change and all that sort of thing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, probably part of it's with, buying a farm and looking at the effects there, but probably more so, having Albie and thinking of the future. And, we don't live an easy lifestyle in terms of our effects on the environment. Us, professional cricketers, we fly around the world. We, live in big hotels and, play under bright lights and all those kind of things. So I think it's just, with the position I'm in, I feel like it's something I want to get better at. And also with my position, I feel like I can, make some difference. So got a few different programs and foundations I'm trying to help out, grow. And, one particular is, I want to always look after grassroots cricket. And I think there's a real synergy between, helping out the environment and grassroots cricket by, giving back, say, solar panels to cricket clubs is one idea. So
cool.
Working on a few different things, but I guess just feeling a good position and something I'm keen to help out with.
Yeah, Paddy, obviously when one captain gets announced, another one moves away. The omission of Tim Paine over the last couple of weeks, he's obviously been through hell and back, and I guess what's happened sort of 4 years ago, without dwelling on the fact of that. But, I'm sure that you've been in contact, and how's he going?
Yeah, I've been chatting to Tim. I guess I'd start off by saying he's been just awesome for me when he was captain. As vice captain, I learned a lot of Tim in just the way he went about, everything really, the way he managed people and his teammates in particular. I've taken a lot out of that. And, been chatting to him the last couple of weeks. He's had a really tough time. He played a round of golf the other day, I think, instead of watching the cricket. But he's been great. He's, again, even just still helping me out, leaning on him, how to get the best out of some of our teammates here. So, that's one kind of positive of the Hobart Test. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with him down there.
Pat, keen to get your thoughts. It's been quite a few people have said you played against England A at the Gabba, but you're playing against England this week with the inclusion of Broad and Anderson. With all due respect to the guys that were in there, if these guys are selected, 1,100 Test wickets between them, are you expecting a different England team in this Test match beginning tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of changes with those guys coming in. They've both played pink balls before. They'll bring class experience to the lineup. There's no doubt about that. 1,100 Test wickets, that's going to be handy at times out in the field. But they're also guys we've played against quite a bit. We know well. There's been times where they've done well against us. There's been times where our batters have scored big runs against them. So, yeah, it's going to perhaps bring a slightly different contest to here than it might have at the Gabba. But, I thought as a whole they bowled quite well at the Gabba.
Just a couple of quick ones before we let you go, Paddy. I've got to give a rap to your sister because a lot of people don't realise that at the age of about 3, and now correct me if I'm wrong if I've got the story right, she accidentally closed the door, slammed the door and knocked off the top of your digit on your bowling finger, and I reckon she's giving you the perfect seam position as a fast bowler. Is that true or false?
Yeah, that's true. We played the long game with that one. I know nothing different. It was literally I was 4 years old when I lost the tip of my finger there, and so forever I've been bowling without it. I reckon it's cost me a leg cutter. Joshy Hazelwood reckons it's given me a wobble seam. So yeah, wait and see. I wouldn't advise any kids out there to give it a go though. I think there's no need.
Don't be putting your finger in a door jam, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, got a couple of questions here from our WhatsApp group. So what we do every segment, a lot of people get on and they get all these questions, but we're going to try to keep it at 2 or 3. But one from me here says, "Congratulations, Paddy. Incredible start to your career as captain. Now that you've got the responsibility as a leader, are you approaching your bowling in a different way, or is your head in bowling and the captaincy separate?"
Yeah, I felt the first spell of last game I was thinking about bowling changes and fields, and maybe it was just an extension of not playing Test cricket for 10 months as much as being captain. And I do remember thinking after that spell, geez, this could be a bit tough to balance. And then from then on, I was absolutely fine. I could just concentrate on my bowling. There's enough time in the other overs, in between overs, to manage the other stuff. So, yeah, we're only one game in, but I feel like I can manage it fine. And if anything, got real clarity of thought on the field placements. And, I felt in a really good place.
Does the pink ball test, obviously tactics come into this one a fair bit more with when you want to bat and bowl, ideally, given the conditions. Is that something you guys talk about, or do you just react as it happens?
Yeah, I would say half-half. You've definitely got to be open-minded to some different tactics. But at the same time, it's still new. There's quite a few unknowns, so you will have some nights where the ball zips around under the lights, and then the next night it might seem very similar conditions and the ball does nothing. So I think we're still learning. I think we do have a bit of an advantage in that we've played quite a lot of it. And
so he does love it, M. Stark.
Oh, what about his start?
Yeah, most of the bowlers do.
And well done. I have to say congratulations, because a lot of journalists are all saying Starkey, hasn't got it and he's not bowling well. And I was back at Starkey, and I'm glad that you stuck with him. And that first ball, people saying it didn't swing, it swung. I mean, yeah, it might have tried to, get the top of off type of thing, but, you got to take the good with the bad. But that was an incredible start for him, and the expression on his face was just pure relief.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he's in our side. And, yeah, I'm not a selector, but no secret, I really wanted him in the side. And I think really good credit to the selectors to not only pick him, but he knew a couple of weeks out we picked our 11. But we all know inside the camp how good he is. Sometimes we scratch our heads at some of the conversation around him. I mean, if you look at his stats, I think his strike rate's 47, which is right in that upper echelon of all-time great fast bowlers. So he's a wicket taker. That's why he's in our team, and he showed that at Gabba.
He certainly did. And the last question I got for you from this WhatsApp group, and then we'll let you go, mate. In regards to Stephen Smith, how has your partnership been functioning with Stephen Smith as your 2IC? Smudgy.
Yeah, it worked really well on the field, particularly around my own bowling and getting his ideas. I felt like our bowlers are really experienced, so most of the time between me and the bowlers, we could come up with plans, and then Smithy was there to throw another option at us occasionally. And he's normally pretty bang on the money. So he was great. And then as well off the field, just bouncing different ideas off him. There's always things that pop up from time to time. So he's great from a not only experience, but from a batter's side of things. So what do you think about this training? Look all right, and he'll give his good feedback. So so far it's worked really well, which I'd hope would be the case. We've been really good mates for a long time. So no surprises, and he's been awesome. I'm very lucky to have him as VC.
Pat, I got a question. It's not from the WhatsApp group, but do the perks of captaincy extend to? Do you get a bigger say in what gets played in the beat box in the dressing room? Have you made any changes in that regard, or have you needed to?
On the beat box,
what are you rocking out these days? Come up.
What are you listening to?
Yeah, it's normally I took over actually. You're right. I forgot about that. I took over after the test match the other day. It was going a little bit to Justin Bieber-y direction for me. So I went. You two blokes be happy with this. I went the old '80s rock playlist.
Yes.
No, you're a Penrith boy, surely.
Bit of Aussie classics, streets of our town.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's good to hear.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. Rocking out the good tunes.
There is no place in the dressing room for Justin Bieber in a cricket dressing room. Surely.
Well, that's
no.
I have to say that we have played Bieber and Backstreet Boys on a few occasions. Then it's just straight into Bon Jovi and Noiseworks and Chisel. So, Paddy, thank you so much. What I will say to everyone that is Buzzard, just backing up what he said at the start, you have not changed one little bit. I want to thank you for raising the standards for, a lot of people that think fast bowlers aren't intelligent creatures, and you've proven everyone wrong. Wish you all the best for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening in the pink ball test, mate, and congratulations on your phenomenal start to your captaincy test career, and may you get many, many more wickets to come, mate.
Beauty. Thanks, gents. Look forward to a red at the farm.
Good luck, mate. 2 from 2, please.
Beauty.
I'll bring some nice ones.
Absolutely.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, everyone, for listening into this episode of the Brett Lee Podcast. If you like what you're hearing, feel free to leave a review of the episode wherever you are listening in. Next episode, we'll be chatting a lot more about the Ashes. We'll probably wrap up the second test, and hopefully the England can bounce back. But, Buzz, it has been a phenomenal day with Pat Cummins on. Make sure you send an email to the Brett Lee Podcast at news.com.au or get involved in the WhatsApp group. Just in finishing, Buzz, a quick prediction.
Even though they'll miss Josh Hazlewood, Australia, Jai Richardson's in great form. Bold prediction, Jai Richardson, man of the match.
Man of the match. I'm going to go with Jimmy Anderson, a fifer.
Oh, let's hope so. I think, look, it's a very good wicket, but I think it's very easy to see this test match being dominated by the ball.
I reckon you and I might sample a couple of reds.
That's not a very bold prediction, that's a surety.
As we say, Buzz,
keep your chins up.
Keep your chins up. Until next time, we'll see you soon.